Hi, everybody. Welcome to Unit 5 and Unit 6. We're going to talk about both this time. Unit 5 is about lighting, and I just wanted to quickly review the lighting assignment, the photography assignment, because there's a number of people that still need to submit this. And I chose some pictures that Laura had submitted already as an example. Thank you, Laura, for letting us look at your pictures. So on this assignment, you're going to take 3 pictures, and they're going to be the same exact spot, but different times of the day. So in this example here, you'll see that the evening, late evening, this was a little too dark because it was slightly blurry, and that's because the lighting was poor. But that's okay in these pictures because the idea is that you're seeing how different the lighting can make your pictures look. And then you've got the sweet puppy, and it's very hard to take pictures of animals or children, as we have learned in our portraits unit, because they move. They don't always cooperate. But she was able to get the dog to sit in about the same spot 3 different times of the day, as you can tell by where it's at here. This one's great, lit really well, kind of midday, and then this is a little harsh. There might have been a cloud out in the sky, which would have helped make this a little more uniformly. And this is super cute with it looking right. But it's showing how the lighting can look so incredibly different at different times of the day. So it's kind of an easy photo assignment. You do need to take it outside. It's okay if you have shadows. I mean, the idea here is that you can see how different a photo will look depending on the natural lighting at different times of the day. Try not to take your later photo too late so that it's not too dark. All right, Unit 6 is special techniques. For the photo prompt for Unit 6, it says practice taking some photographs for conversion to black and white. When you're finished, use photo editing software to convert the images from color to black and white. Submit 3 of your favorites. So we're going to use GIMP to convert our pictures to black and white. Unless you have Photoshop, Lightroom, or another software program that will work, but GIMP is a free one. And before you take your pictures, you should review the unit and figure out what makes a great black and white photo. And paying attention to lines, shadows, and shapes is really important when you convert your picture to a black and white. Look for contrast, lights and darks. Watch for texture. Texture can make your images look very, very interesting. Also look for patterns and that there's a wide range of grays. And of course, good lighting helps tremendously. So we're going to go and check out how to use GIMP. And first of all, you'll want to open a photo in GIMP. Make a duplicate of the photo, convert to black and white, adjust the contrast if needed, and then export as a JPEG. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now in GIMP. Okay, so I'm going to double click on GIMP so that it launches, and then I'm going to go File, Open, and go find the image on my hard drive that I want to edit. I've went ahead and found a photo that I had taken outside a couple years ago. It's on a pond and this is a water lily with a frog. And before you get started here, you don't ever want to be editing your original, because if you ever make any mistakes, you don't want to not be able to start over. So the first thing you always want to do is say Image Duplicate. You'll see I have up at the top of my window, I can see I now have 3 of the exact same image open. If you need to rotate it because it's the wrong direction, you can go Image, Transform. You can flip it horizontally, vertically, 90 degrees, 180 degrees if you need to. If you need to scale it down to a smaller size, you can say Image, Scale Image, and you can see that mine, the resolution 72. You can see that mine, I can change this from pixels to inches. It's 65 inches by 48 inches. So if you want to make yours a little smaller, so it's a smaller file size, this is a great place to do that. I'm going to take mine down to 30 inches. It's locked, and so it's going to automatically do the perfect height that matches the width, so it doesn't, so you want to make sure that's locked. You can unlock something if you wanted to make it get all kind of funky, but generally you're going to want to always keep that locked. And then you'll hit scale. It'll resize it to a smaller size. I could get my magnifying tool here and get that so it fits the window if I wanted to. So to quickly do what you need to do, you would just go up to Colors and say Desaturate, and then say OK, and there you have your black and white image. Now, I know that this could be pushed a little further. So it doesn't have enough contrast for me. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to colors, levels. This is my favorite place to adjust my values. You'll see here that this far little triangle, this is called a histogram, kind of looks like a mountain. I don't have any information at the very beginning in my black, so I'm going to move my black over to the very beginning of the information. This center triangle is my midtones, so that's going to take the midtones either lighter or darker, depending which way you go. And then on the left, there is information here. I don't want to cut out any information, so I'm going to leave it right there. Let's see, let's make sure you can see this all the way. I can click on the preview here to see what it looked like before and after my changes. If you find that what you've done anytime you're using any of the tools and you don't like it, you can just say cancel and none of the changes will be saved. Now you can see that also on this image when it's still in color, I've flipped over to a duplicate. I can also go into colors levels. So I'm going to bring over my black so it starts at the very beginning of the information, adjust my midtones, and I'm going to leave my white because the information's there, so we're not going to change that at all. So I'm going to click the preview button down here. This was before adjustments and this is after. So you can see that this was a little oversaturated, and making these adjustments made a much better image. So I could say OK and then go and change this to a black and white. Colors desaturate and then say OK. Now I am curious, but I think my image actually looks better when I did the color adjustments because there's more information in there, and then converted it to black and white. So once you're happy with your image, you're going to want to export this as a JPEG. You're going to turn in 3 different images for this photo assignment. I'll go File, Export. I recommend you would save it U6 for Unit 6 _ your last name _ and you could say photo 1, just put 1. I'm going to come down here to the bottom and make sure I have a JPEG selected. That's going to add the .jpeg at the end once I export that. Now make sure that this is going where you want it, and then I would go to say my photos, and I would either create a new folder, call it Unit 6, or maybe you have a IQ Photos that you could go to where you're saving your photos. Just make sure you have a plan on how to organize them. I would create a new folder. I would call it Unit 6. And then inside of here, I would save my first photo, click Export. Okay, it's saying it doesn't have a file. Oh, here, select file type by extension. So I guess I would come here. So this is new. That didn't used to be there. And I selected that and said Export. The quality is good at this default setting. And then I'll say Export. And there's my first image ready to be turned in. But you still have to convert 2 more. The photos can be totally different. You could actually take, if you have a good photo that didn't fit another photo assignment, you could convert it to black and white if it's got the elements that will make a good black and white photo. They just need to be taken during this semester. All right, so to review briefly, I went Image Duplicate to duplicate the image because you don't ever want to edit your originals. Image Transform if you need to rotate your image at all. Image Scale Image if you want to make a smaller file size. We did not do the colors brightness contrast, but that's an option that you can play with. And then colors desaturate will remove the color. What I did do before I did the colors desaturate, which I think looked a lot better, was I did go color levels, and that adjusts your exposure. So if you've got an image that's too bright or too dark, this is one way to fix it. So you could do this also on your color photos that you're submitting for other units. If you find it slightly overexposed or underexposed, it can also save a photo that you really want. You'd be amazed how much this can make a huge difference on your photo quality. You can go colors, color balance. This is a little tricky to do color adjustments. Image crop to selection if you're using the crop tool and you want to crop your image to have a better composition. And then when you're all done and you're happy with it, File, Export, select the JPEG option when you save. So File, Export, select JPEG from the drop-down menu that was on the right and the left. Save to a specific folder so you can find it. Name it with your name. This is U6 underscore last name underscore 1. That's not, terribly important, but it does help you to be organized if you do that. Control Z will undo your last action if you do anything you don't want. Help Users Manual will give you the GIMP Users Manual if you're wanting to check that out when you're in GIMP. And then Help Tip of the Day is kind of fun if you're wanting to push yourself to learn new things in GIMP. Make sure you post your photos in Edmodo to share with everybody in the class. Only students that are in our class will get to see these because we're the ones that have this group code here. So www.edmodo.com, the group code is G8VQNF. And I look forward to seeing your photos there as well as in the Dropbox. If you have anything missing, please get it in as soon as possible because I want to grade it and get your grade where it should be. I'm excited to see your work, and email me anytime you have any questions. That's what I'm here for, is to answer your questions. So email me any questions you have, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.